It was the 21st of November 2021, and I had biology homework due in the next day. And then the week after that, I had a biology mock. But I was doing something I really shouldn't have done. I was laying on my bed and scrolling through social media. That may not sound like very bad, but around that time, I had hit the almost a burnout phase of my life. I had really been trying to be productive throughout that year. Like throughout year 10, I had really been trying to revise and trying to hit gym. But as I lay there on my phone screen switched off and I saw my reflection. I saw the fat, obese, brown kid that was staring into that reflection, who had done no work. It was really one of the darkest periods of my entire life. And I think even though I did get like the good GCSEs and stuff, if I had a video like this on exactly how to fix that very depressing stage of unproductivity that many of you may face, I would have been much better off. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how to be the most productive you've ever been in your entire life and smash every goal you can possibly think of. This may be like work related. If you're doing like revision related stuff, I'm going to tell you how to smash those goals. If you have fitness related goals, you're going to smash those. And you're literally going to surprise yourself on how productive you're going to be after you follow this video. This video has really never been done before in this like space. I think the only YouTuber who's really indulged in such an extreme sort of like life throw around or life turnaround is a YouTuber called Hamza Ahmed, who like I've watched a lot. Essentially what this video is going to be is it's a protocol on how to fix your life so you can achieve the goals that you've always wanted to achieve. For example, 2 years ago I was really fat, but if I would have implemented the steps said in this video, I would have most definitely got to my physique. I'll put it up here on the screen right now, way quicker. This protocol is called monk mode. Monk mode is basically a period of time where you're the most focused on your goals, on like self-improvement than anyone around you, and you really have no distractions. And it's this period of time that you're going to achieve the best results in your entire life. All I need you to do to practically achieve all your goals, every single goal you have in mind, not every single one, the most important goals you have in mind, I will help you achieve them. But all you need to do is give me your full attention and get a notebook, get a notepad. I'm going to tell you to do like actionable steps throughout the video and just follow those actionable steps. And you'll literally be the happiest, healthiest, most productive, most academically achieving person you've ever been in your entire life. So let's get into it. Step 1, what monk mode is. Now, you've probably heard the word monk mode before in maybe your life or YouTube, but I think I explained this in the previous section, but essentially what it is it's a sprint. It's metaphorically a psychological sprint in your life where you only concentrate on the things that matter to you and your self-development as much as possible. So you cut out all distractions in your life and you only focus on, let's say, fitness, academics, and if you're like doing business or like YouTube, you only focus on that. And honestly, I've done a lot of research to support the facts done in this video. I may sound like I've been talking rubbish, but I've genuinely done hours and hours of research into developing the most efficient way to achieve your goals. And over the last 2 weeks, I think I've been on this monk mode protocol. And I can tell you that I've genuinely never been as productive as I have been in the last 2 weeks. And I've genuinely not got done as much as I've done in the last 2 weeks. It's genuinely like still surprises me how much I do. Maybe you've seen like more videos uploaded to my channel. That's all because of these last 2 weeks where I've just honed in my like psychological mind in this 4-step framework into just developing myself and just concentrating on the things that matter to me the most. A disclaimer is that this video should not be used extensively. Like, I'm only planning to go on this like monk mode phase for the next like 2 months. I'm not gonna just grind for the next 2 months. I'm gonna have fun as well. But like, essentially, if you're not at the level you want to be right now, either academically, either fitness wise, or any venture you can think of, this video should be used as a guide to get to that goal. So this brings me on to the first section, which is setting up your goals. Step 1, setting up your goals. Imagine you're running a sprint, right? And the person is about to call the race. He has like the little gun thing that they shoot up in the air. And he goes 3, 2, 1, bang! And he shoots the gun. And then you run. And then you keep on running. And then before you know it, you don't even know where the finish line is. Imagine how much trauma and how much that would play on your like psychological mind. Imagine you start sprinting and you don't know where you're supposed to stop. This is the same thing that many people do. They just grind and grind and grind, but they don't have like quantifiable goals that they want to achieve to stop them from grinding. So I've tried this before, right? I've tried like grinding away without any goals, but genuinely like this hasn't worked. So what you're going to have to do with me right now is get a piece of paper and a pen. I'll get one right now. And essentially, open up to a page and we'll title this page Goals. So what you need to do is write down, goals. Essentially, what we need to do is, the first step to do this is to state what goals you want to achieve with this like protocol or this monk mode phase. Again, let me reinstate that this phase or this monk mode phase should only last a maximum of like 2 or 3 months. You shouldn't be doing extensive amount of like self-development this extreme for more than like 2 or 3 months, because I think it really like, it doesn't give you the ability to experience the joy from it, if you kind of get what I mean. And it just like, it plays on your mental health, which is like really important as well. I'll get onto that on another video or something. But essentially, what you need to do is choose 5 goals right now that really matter to you and you want to get done by the next 2 months. So have them in your brain, right? So for example, let me think. I want to get to a 100 kg bench. I want to get to a particular grade in my, I want to get to a particular grade in like all my A-level subjects. If you don't know, I'm studying A-levels. I think I study like maths, further maths, physics, and computer science. So like a lot of like problem solving A-levels. So I want to get to a particular grade in my A-levels. And let's say I want to, so essentially this YouTube channel is my like side hustle. I want to upload 6 videos to this YouTube channel. And what else? I want to run a 10k in 50 minutes or less. Or run 10k in 40 minutes or less. And what else? What goals should I have? Code. Get proficient in coding Python. Now, we've probably both like got a piece of paper with our goals on it. If you haven't, pause this video right now, get a piece of paper and write down 5 goals that you want to achieve in the next 2 months. Now, what you need to do is pick a maximum of 3 that matter to you the most. So you know we have like a bunch of goals. So I wrote down 5. You want to narrow it down to 1 to 3 goals that we're just gonna grind on for the next 2 months. So I probably don't need to run a 10k in 40 minutes. So let me cross that goal out. I don't really care about benching 100 kg. Like my physique is pretty good, but like I don't really care that much. I just want to get aesthetic. I'm on a bulk anyways. But now you've narrowed it down to 3 goals that you really want to achieve in the next 2 months. And if you haven't, again, just pause this video. Stop looking at me, bro. Go write down your goals. Essentially, now we have 3 goals that we want to achieve by the end of 3 months or 2 months. So mine are get this particular grade in my A-levels or like A-level mocks, upload 6 videos to this YouTube channel and get a particular amount of subscribers. I'm not going to tell you exactly how much. And I want to get proficient in coding Python. Python's like a programming language if you don't really know. It's like coding and stuff. Once you've got that, what you need to do is take this piece of paper I'll take it right now. And stick it up somewhere in your room. A lot of people like put their goals in like their phone or something. I've found that this really doesn't work for me. I think if you're anything like me, you need to have your goals like up in your face at all times. That's why like across my room, I have a lot of random pages. I copied this off Hamza of like goals that I want to achieve in the next like 2 months. I'm not going to tell you them like exactly, but I just have them dotted around all my room, all of my room. But essentially, this is what you want to do. You want to have these goals in your face at all times when you're in your room. So for example, I put my goals up here in front of my desk. So whenever I come and sit down to like work or something, I always have my goals like in my face, the things that I want to do for the next like 2 months. Another thing about setting these goals, aim high. Like I didn't tell my goals out loud on purpose, but I do aim very, very high, and that's for a very specific reason. You need to have these goals make you wake up in the morning. Like if you have some random goal like breathe underwater for 3 minutes, that's not gonna make you get out of bed every single morning. You need to have like a big goal that's gonna drive you and motivate you to get out of bed every morning and just grind on it. For example, if you're in GCSEs, your goal could be get all 9s in every single subject. If you're like a grade 4 student right now, I'm telling you, aim for a grade 9 in every single subject. That's a first class goal that you need to achieve. Another goal I would personally have, I have another goal up here, which is like a fitness related goal. I know that a lot of people want to achieve like big on academics and stuff, or like GCSEs and stuff, but I personally think that having a healthy body is a healthy mind. So for example, my goal up here is to bulk to 85 kg. I do want to get a 100 kg bench press, but again, during this monk mode, you don't want to just have academic goals itself. You want to have a fitness goal. So for example, if you've never been to a gym in your life, your goal could be like to bench 50 kg. It could be anything, right? But you just need to have a fitness related goal, and you need to have a maximum of 3 goals. The less goals you have, the better, because it doesn't like divert your focus. You can just hone in on these very few goals. A mistake that a lot of people have on like self-development, and like a lot of students have this as well. They have a lot of goals that they think they can achieve, like 10 or so, but they never achieve a single one. So in my personal life, during the half term, which was like 2 weeks ago, I had a lot of goals I wanted to achieve, but I didn't achieve a single one. And that was, I realized personally, because I just had set too many. So now going forward, I realized that if you set, the lesser amount of goals you set, the better, but these goals should be valuable to you. Now what I want you to do is, this is like a bonus section, but I want you to explain why these goals mean something to you. For example, if you're, again, let's take the grade 4 student or like C student example. The grade C student may have a aspiration of getting all A stars or all 9s in their GCSEs, because this will help them get good grades, and then this will help them get into a good university, and then get into a good job, and then get good money. Then they can provide for their family and then get rich. That's a really good motivation. You should do this preferably for every single one of your goals. So why do you want to get fit? Why do you want to do this certain goal? And when you have that reasoning why, stick it up in your wall, and that should be the first section done. This is like the direction you want to flow in. This is like in the race, this is the destination you want to go to. Imagine your brain is like a plane, an aeroplane. This is the destination you eventually want to land on. I'll be using this like analogy of your brain being an aeroplane throughout the entirety of this video, because there has been research, and there's been like this big productivity YouTuber called Ali Abdal who's explained a lot about how your brain works. And essentially how it works is you need to have a destination in mind, and your brain is sort of like the driver of that aeroplane, if you get what I mean. So now we've got the destination filled out. We know exactly what goals we want to do for the next 2 months. This moves me on to the next section, which is putting in the work. Now we know what goals we have. You may have like 3 goals, 2 goals, 1 goal, the maximum of 3. And now all we need to do to achieve these goals is just put in the work. It's just being something called productive. If you don't know what productive is in like business terminology or like economics terminology, It's essentially having a greater amount of output. You want to be outputting or like working harder than you are usually. And this is how like productivity works. So essentially every single day you're allocated a certain amount of fuel for your like aeroplane, which I discussed in like the previous section. Your brain is like an aeroplane, and you're allocated a certain amount of fuel for your aeroplane. Now your aeroplane or your brain can use this fuel for a variety of different reasons, but we want to use this just to get to our destination. We just want to get to our goals. So every single thing you do, like waking up or making any sort of decision that uses your brain power in any way, shape or form, diminishes this brain fuel. For example, if you wake up and you just scroll on social media, and then you go downstairs and have a massive breakfast, and then you go to the gym, you get exhausted, you like get really, really tired, and then you sit down to work, your brain has already used up a lot of its fuel, and it doesn't have the amount of fuel it needs to do a certain piece of work. This is like exactly how your brain works. I know this is like a really weird analogy, but this is genuinely backed up by science. I'll put like some links below hand, but your brain is allocated a certain amount of like fuel or like, fuel to do essentially work in the morning. And what we want to do is we want to allocate the maximum amount of fuel for our goals, because we really care about our goals more than anything else. So if you're a bit confused on like what activities drain your brain fuel, I'll put like a slide up on screen. These are the activities that really severely impact the amount of fuel your brain has, or like it takes a lot of fuel in. So for example, I think watching TV or like playing video games is a very severe fuel taker from your brain's aeroplane, because this really requires mental cognition, and you really need to like tune in when you're playing video games. And if you've ever played like video games or watched TV or like scrolled on social media and then try to revise for anything, you'll always like, your brain's a little bit fried, and this is exactly why, because you've used your brain's capacity on that video game or like social media, and you haven't had enough to allocate on this meaningful work. So essentially what we need to do is, as soon as we wake up, the best case scenario is to allocate a certain amount of time to do the most highest leverage work that we feel meaningful in the morning. So for me, for example, I wake up very, very early. I know this may like sound way too early, but I wake up at around 3:30 and I start working at around 4:30. And I do the most highest leverage work. Well, leverage basically means like the most important work you can ever think of in that day. Like the most hardest work you can think of in that day in the morning. This concept is called Eat the Frog. Essentially, this guy, I think his name's like Brian Tracy or something, he said that if you have to eat a frog, you would always eat it in the morning rather than like pushing it off into the evening, because after you've eaten that frog, the rest of that day is like really, really good. So if you do the hardest, most difficult task as soon as you wake up in the morning, the rest of your day is probably gonna go like way better. And I've personally felt that. As soon as I wake up, I like go take a cold shower. I'll go downstairs, get some coffee, black coffee. I don't eat anything because this like saps some of my brain fuel. And then I sit down for about 1 to 2 hours and just do deep work on like the hardest, most meaningful work that means the most to me towards my goals. If you're like any kind of student right now, this would be doing the practice papers of the exam. For example, if you're like a GCSE student, this would be doing the GCSE full practice papers right in the morning as soon as you get up, because this is where your brain has the most fuel that you can just allocate for the work. So now after you've heard like my sort of routine in the mornings, or like the routine I'm trying to follow in order to get to my goals, you've probably been a bit motivated by it. And I'm going to tell you exactly how you can set up this like structured daily routine for yourself. So again, this is another actionable step. I want you to get a piece of paper and write down in big at the top of the paper, routine. So basically what this is it's the most productive, most perfect day you can possibly think of written down on paper. So you want to, if you like visualize for a minute what the most productive day you can possibly think of is, let's say like you wake up at like 5 a.m. I know if you don't really like waking up early, I know a lot of people don't. It's really dependent on your body type. This is like completely genetic. I personally feel like really, really tired at like 7 o'clock or 7 p.m. It's like, I think 7 p.m. right now, and I'm kind of tired right now. But I like wake up really, really early, like 3:30. But a lot of other people that I know, they go to sleep very, very late. Like they feel the most awake later on in the day, but they can't wake up in the morning. And this is genuinely up to you. So if you can picture the perfect day in your head, you should just write it down. So for example, if it's waking up at 5 a.m. Let's put down when we sleep first and when we wake up first. So let's say for me it's 3:30 wake up. Okay? And then I go to bed at 7:30 p.m. Now, you need to allocate a certain amount of time, preferably in the morning, but you can also do it in the evening, to do the work that matters the most to you. So if you're a student, this would be like revising the practice papers. And if you're like a YouTuber, this would be recording the videos. If you're like, if you're a fitness influencer, or if you're big into this gym, this would be like going to the gym or like researching about the gym. And you want to do this for about 90 minutes to about 2 hours in the morning. You don't want to overdo this in the morning. So for me, I like go and take a cold shower. I'm going to make like a full guide on cold showers in the later stages of this month. But essentially, these are like the best thing for your productivity as well. But if you don't want to take them, fair enough. I don't really like cold showers, but I take a cold shower in the morning, and then I get down to work at around 4:30 to around 7 o'clock. So that's about 2.5 hours, 2 to 2.5 hours right in the morning. This is like my most difficult task done in the morning. If you think about it, I get like most of my revision done before anyone wakes up. That's crazy, right? I'm never really revised. I'm always at the gym or doing like some random shit outside, because I always do, or I try to do, all my work before every single other person gets up. Imagine how powerful that is. If you're following this monk mode guide, you're doing a lot of your work way before anyone even gets out of bed. That's so powerful. That's why this like protocol is really, really powerful. Just because there's not a lot of people like who are watching videos like these and trying to be more productive. And if you're honing in that energy and you really want to be productive and have a structure to your day, you're probably going to be more productive, and you're probably going to follow this structure and absolutely demolish them in like any competition. Anyway, after that rant, 4:30 to about 7, I revise. Then for me, it's have breakfast around 7 o'clock. And then if you're like a student, you go to school from like 8 to 4. And I want you to put around 1 hour, like even if you're not into fitness, at least 1 hour of exercise every single day. The reason for this is that there have been many studies online to show that exercise actually boosts your productivity. Even if you're not into like the gym or something, exercise will completely boost your productivity and will just increase your happiness levels by like, I think 40%, I think Huberman said. So just plan around 1 hour of exercise. I personally do something called resistance training, which is like going to the gym and lifting heavy weights. But you can do like running or even like walking or like calisthenics or something. It really depends on the person to person. So now we have a perfect 10 out of 10 routine that we're gonna try and follow every single day for this entire monk mode period. Now I know what you may be thinking. You may be thinking that this is like completely impossible to follow. Like you may be looking at this like timetable and thinking that you could never follow this every single day. And it's true. You could never. Like I never follow my routine 100% every single day. But what we're trying to do in this like monk mode protocol is just make ourselves more productive than we were 2 weeks ago. So even if you follow like 40% of this day, that's going to be completely better than your unstructured life right now, just scrolling on YouTube. Because at least you're going to feel better, and at least you're going to do more work. Even though you're not going to fulfill 100% of this routine, you're still going to do some work. And that work is going to be more than you did last week before you were on this. So I know that I can't follow my routine 100% every single day. Like, of course, everyone has these random things that come up. Your mom just tells you to like take out the trash. I get it. Like, everyone has these random things that pop up. But if you just follow this routine, even to like 40% every single day, you're way better than anyone else just because you have a routine. Now we have our routine that we're trying to follow every single day throughout this monk mode protocol. Guess what you have to do with it right now? You have to take this piece of paper and stick it up in your, next to your, I think it was your goals. You need to do this right now. Otherwise this really won't work. And the reason for this being is that you just have to have this in your face until you memorize and internalize that routine. Because I guarantee you, if you just hide this away, or you put this on your like notes app, you won't do your routine and you'll just forget about it in the next 2 weeks. Or like even 2 days. So you just need to have this on your wall somewhere where you can see it all the time, like 24/7 when you sit down on your desk or you come into your room. You just need to have this in your face so you can follow your routine. This brings me on to my third point, which is consistency. Now we know how productivity actually works with like the fuel in the plane, in your brain, and how you need to allocate your fuel to certain tasks. And we also have the destination or our goals that we want to achieve after this monk mode. Now comes to the hardest part of this entire guide. It's staying consistent. How the hell do you stay consistent with such extreme routines or like such high goals throughout this entire 2 months? This was a question I asked myself like 2 years ago. But genuinely, the thing that you can only do to build consistency is just practice or just do the work. And I'm going to get you to do something that will help you stay consistent throughout this entire monk mode protocol. So what you need to do is get another piece of paper. So now you have 3 pieces of paper in total. One of them is your goals. Another one of them is your perfect routine. And this one is something we're going to call a habit tracker. So I actually have my habit tracker stuck on my wall right there. And essentially what it is it's a list of, it's like a checklist every single day of things you really need to get done on that day. So for example, my personal habit tracker has stuff like morning routine, which is like take a cold shower, and then revise in the morning, meditate, go gym. Those are all things that contribute to my perfect day. And if I do all of these, I feel amazing at the end of the day. But if I do like, let's say 3 of these, I don't feel that good. So essentially what you need to do is whatever you had on your routine, or like the main things you had in your routine, for example, your morning routine, or like getting up at this time, you want to put the days down on the left-hand side. So like Monday, 21st of November, I think it is. And then you want to have at the top the habit you want to do. So for example, morning routine. I'll put a picture up of my habit tracker on screen here. So you have morning routine, and then you have the days on the left hand side. Now, all you have to do is every single day, you need to check all of these off, basically. If you miss one, you have to have that sense of guilt inside you on why you missed like a very core part of your day. So for example, if you missed waking up in the morning, like randomly, even though like it probably will happen, you need to have that sense of guilt inside you, and you really need to ask yourself why you missed that, because it's this sense of guilt that will push us to achieve our goals and to be more disciplined. If we just have this consistency or this like quantifiable data of our consistency on our walls at all times. I have this like right next to my desk, just because like every time I look over, I can see all the habits I ticked off and like ones I missed out, which I really have. And then I'm like, oh damn, I really need to fix up for the next day or like the next week, because I just want to have these like ticks all over my habit tracker. So what you need to do is, again, take this habit tracker, put this on your wall somewhere, and have this like accountability to yourself, wherein every time you miss a habit on that habit tracker, you need to have this feeling of guilt inside you. Another part of staying consistent is that you have to be accountable for your actions. So like a normal habit tracker, you can just look at a box, and then if you were like me, you could just like tick it even though you didn't really do it. But if you, for example, take this habit tracker and every single day you send a picture of it to like your mate, and then he criticizes you for not doing the habit, you're going to have a heightened sense of guilt, and you would really want to do that habit, then just like tick it off, or say you accidentally missed it or something. And this accountability is something that I've really missed, because again, during this half term, I had this like habit tracker, but I really had no one to like post it to. And that's why I've made like a Discord server. So like Discord's like an app wherein if you're like me and you have like a lot of goals that you want to achieve, but you can't seem to stay consistent on them, and you need some kind of accountability, you just post a picture of your habit tracker or like your goals and like the stuff you did today and why you didn't do your routine on this Discord server, and I'll like personally criticize you and be an accountability buddy for you. I'm also going to be like very active on this Discord server, so you're probably going to see my own habit tracker, and we can be accountability buddies and achieve our goals together. So if you're interested in that, that's the first link in the bio. Just click on that, join my Discord server, and then we can both be accountable. So now we've learned that in this monk mode protocol, we need a routine that we've developed. We need to stay consistent through this habit tracker, and we need a destination which we've already reinforced and put up on a wall. Again, if you didn't get like the vibe, you need to put this habit tracker also on the wall. I don't know if I mentioned it before in the video, but yeah, I'm mentioning it now. Now we have the 3 fundamental ideas of monk mode. You're pretty much all equipped to achieve any goal you have just with these 3 things. If you just have a routine, goals, and consistency, I guarantee you there's pretty much nothing stopping you from achieving that goal. There's pretty much nothing stopping you from achieving all 9s or getting a 6-pack if you just stay consistent, driven, and you have the goal to do so. The next section of this video is going to be a lot more unfiltered, and it's going to have a lot of my experiences on this monk mode. So if you're interested, stay. If you're not, I hope you achieve the goals you set out to do, because genuinely I think that this is just a side tangent here, but a lot of people like call it sad for like being on your purpose and like grinding away at your goals for extended or short periods of time. But I can tell you for a fact that this is genuinely the happiest time I've ever been in my entire life. Just grinding away at my goals and then going to the gym every single day is 100% more happier. Like I feel way more happy and way more healthy than, for example, after GCSEs, where I had nothing else to do and I was kind of on holiday and I was kind of like relaxing and watching TV. I felt honestly genuine symptoms of like depression and anxiety after my GCSEs. But now I'm like grinding away at like my goals and then grinding away at like fitness and stuff. I genuinely feel way more happier. So if anything, if you watch this entire video and you think it's complete rubbish and you're just going to click off, at least try it for like one day and see how you feel. Try grinding away at your goals for one day, and if you feel like shit afterwards, fair enough. You do you. But just try it for like one day. I guarantee you will feel way better when you're achieving and like grinding away at your goals than if you're just like, you have like an unstructured day, you're just laying around all day like playing video games or something. This brings me on to the unfiltered section of this video. Around 98% of this audience or the view count has clicked off, and it's just you and me. The first thing I want to say is that routine is genuinely the best thing you can do in your life to achieve your goals. I know that a lot of people may seem like naturally smart or naturally hardworking, but if you have any sort of structure to your routine, it's not only the goals that you're going to achieve better, it's just the genuine feeling of momentum and happiness you get from that. It's really hard to describe how you feel on this like monk mode protocol, but you feel absolutely incredible. If I was to sum it up in 2 words, absolutely incredible. Just grinding away at your goals 24/7, just hitting the grind and then just going gym is genuinely, again, I'll repeat it, the best period of my life by far. But one thing that could go wrong in your monk mode journey is that you take it slightly too far. So for example, I'll give you another example. During the half term, my aim was to study like 12 hours a day, every single day, and then hit gym, and then do this, and then do that. But I ended up doing absolutely nothing. Again, because I had a lot of goals, but also because It was way too unrealistic. I couldn't even do that for one day, let alone 2 weeks. And you want to have your routine set up in such a way that you're able to it shouldn't be very, very hard. It should be just slightly harder than your usual day. So for example, if you're revising like 1 hour a day, or if you're not even revising, and then you bump that up by 1 or 2 hours every single day, that should be your daily routine. You shouldn't be studying like 12 hours a day, because that's just not going to work and you're not going to get anywhere. That's just a side tangent. Yeah, just keep on your grind, stay consistent, fill out the habit tracker, and that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned from this video, and I'll see you in the next one.